How will these election results affect the future of Amazonia? I'm joined now by Boris Pétain-Réger, who is a senior campaign director in France for the NGO Mighty Earth. He runs the campaign to end deforestation. Let's take a look at the impact of the Bolsonaro policy on Amazonia so far.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. So yes, during the mandate of Bolsonaro, it was a very impactful mandate for the Amazon. We have an increase of deforestation by 75%. A lot of fires, like this summer, with a record of fire, like close to 1 million hectares of fire of the Amazon. So it's huge. It's much more than what we have in France, for example. So yes, the mandate of Bolsonaro was very bad for the Amazon and also bad for the indigenous people that were very suffering and threatened by his policy.
Some scientists are now saying that the Amazon is reaching a tipping point. Can you give us an idea what really is at stake now?
Well, actually, there are different studies about that. And the first study, like 1 month ago, was saying that we are already reaching this tipping point, which means that basically the Amazon, which is a rainforest, is becoming a savanna, a dry savanna. So it means that it's going to release a lot of CO2 emission, GHG emission, into the atmosphere. It's more or less the equivalent of two years of emission. So it's huge. If the Amazon is becoming a savanna, it's going to be lost for the climate fight.
Now, Lula da Silva has already spoken about the Amazon in his very first speech. In fact, he has affirmed his intention to stop deforestation. But he has, of course, already been president. How would you assess his first go? How much attention did he pay to the problems of the Amazon?
Well, I'm working in the subject for a very long time, and really it's the biggest victory, the mandate of Lula at the beginning of the 2000s. And he managed to reach his objective, which was a decrease of deforestation by 80%. And so he managed to get these results. It was a very important decrease of deforestation during this time. So it shows that it's possible. It's possible to decrease this deforestation. It's not something that we cannot stop. And it was it was due because of a very good coordination between the different agencies within the government, and also very involvement of the private sector as well. So it's definitely possible, and we hope that with Lula now we're gonna have a very important decrease of the deforestation in the following years.
But I mean, as you say, he will encounter some resistance. Not all of the governors, as you say, of this area are in support of his policies on the Amazon. And of course, this is a really, really powerful industry. I mean, what makes you think that this time he might have some success? Also, the legislature in Brazil looks to be opposed to his policies on this.
Yes, I totally agree. Not all the governors are not in favor of the protection of the Amazon. It's going to be very difficult to have a balance between his policy and the governor policy. But and also, as you say, the industry is very powerful. The soybean traders, for example, or the meat packer company are very, very, very powerful. So I think now with Lula and with his new policy, it's going to be very important for the private sector, and especially the meat packers and the traders, to be committed. We are expecting, for example, for the future COP in 2 weeks, to have a very strong roadmap in order to decrease this deforestation. It's very important, not only for Brazil, but for all the world. So yes, it's going to be not an easy win, but the civil society and Mighty Earth especially will be very careful, and will monitor very, very much the practices and the implementation of the policy of the companies.
Now, as you say, for the rest of the world, the outside world, the Amazon is something we focus on very much. How much do ordinary people in Brazil, how much are they preoccupied by the Amazon?
Yes, of course, it's a very important question. I think it's not only in Brazil. For example, for the moment in France as well, and in Europe, there are much less preoccupation about the environment because of all the preoccupation, social issues, etc. But it's also important to know that in Brazil, you have a very important foreigner company, like also, for example, French companies like Carrefour, Casino, which are the leaders of the retail sector in Brazil, and they have the mandatory to implement better policy in order to protect the forest, because they are basically the companies that sell most meat in Brazil, so not for France, for Brazilian consumer, and they have the responsibility to do not propose products that are coming from deforestation. So I think if we have Lula and also a very important commitment from companies in Brazil and also international company, we can manage to get very interesting result to the protection of the Amazon.
Okay, well, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time, Boris Patin-Réger from the NGO Mighty Earth. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.